Today we're going to be looking at the illustrated book Eats, Shoots, and Leaves by Lynn Truss and illustrated by Bonnie Timmons. Why commas really do make a difference. A panda walks into the library. He eats a sandwich, then draws his bow and shoots 2 arrows. "Why did you do that?" asks the librarian as the panda walks towards the exit. The panda shows her a badly punctuated book. "I'm a panda," he says. "That's what it says we do." The librarian looks at the page. Panda. Large, black and white, bear-like mammal. Native to China. Eats, shoots, and leaves.
So, like we talked about yesterday, the whole point of a comma is to help separate things in a sentence so that way it makes more, helps us to make sense of that. If we don't use commas in the right place, it can change the meaning. They're a little or a lot. And sometimes in this book they give us plenty of examples of ways that you don't use commas correctly, you can make it a very silly sentence. And you might not mean to. Like here, where it says eats, shoots, and leaves. Without the commas in the right place, with this one in this case, they added this comma here. It makes it sound like it's a list of things that the panda does. Like he'll walk into a place, he'll eat whatever his food is, shoot off the bow and arrow, and then he'll just leave. But what they're really trying to say is that a panda should eat shoots and leaves, like the different plants. That's what they typically eat. But if we use commas incorrectly, we can end up with a sentence like that. And our reader might be confused, thinking, why is a panda just walking around with a bow and arrow?
Punctuation marks are the traffic signals of language. They tell us to slow down, notice this, take a detour, or stop. Of all the punctuation marks, the comma is the most used and misused. Commas can create havoc when they are left out or are put in the wrong spot, and the results of misuse can be hilarious. This little dot with a tail has the power to change the meaning of a sentence by connecting things that shouldn't be connected or breaking apart things that should stay together. So enjoy laughing at some of the ways commas can change everything. Lynn Truss. Slow. Children crossing. Slow children crossing.
So this first example shows us crosswalk, like by our school. We have slow, comma, and children crossing. So they're telling everyone that's driving around to drive slowly because there are kids crossing. See the crossing guard holding up the stop sign so that cars know that kids are coming and they walk through crosswalk. But if you don't have the comma, what you're saying is that the kids are crossing and they're being very slow. We can see here one of them's balancing books on his head, the other one has his leg broken, the other one's walking a snail, and the snail's walking faster than her. Got another girl who's holding a big pile of books. Got this boy who's got like a cart, like a shopping cart, and he's trying to balance all these different, looks like balloons in there. Got another girl walking her dog. So they have two very different meanings. One telling other people to be slow. This one saying that it's the children who are.
Go. Get him doctors. Go get 'em, doctors.
So in this example, they didn't forget a comma, they put it in different places. In the first one, we have a boy who fell off the monkey bars and he hurt himself, so we have the playground monitor here telling the other kids, go find doctors or find the nurse to bring to him. But this one is where we have an example of someone like running away from the doctors and someone's telling them, go get them, like they're trying to escape or they need help and they're running away from you. Go and catch them.
Doctors. Every day, Anthony turns, slides, and swings. Every day, Anthony turns, slides, and swings.
In this first version, they use the commas to separate the items in that list, telling us what Anthony does during the day. He turns around, slides, swings. But if you forget to put the commas, it makes it sound like Anthony runs around the playground, twisting the swings and twisting up the slides.
After we left Grandma, Mommy and I skipped about in the park. After we left, Grandma, Mommy, and I skipped about in the park.
This is another example where we can see we can see that depending on where you put the commas, your sentence means very different things. One of them says they kind of like dropped off Grandma sitting on a bench, and then her and the mom are skipping around. Second one, they're saying they left somewhere, the house maybe, and that Grandma, Mom, and her were all skipping in the park.
Becky teased the boy with the fluffy duck. Becky teased the boy with the fluffy duck.
So again, we have kind of similar sentences, but a little bit different. In the first version, with no comma, Becky is teasing the boy, and the boy is the one who has the duck. But in the second version, when we add this comma, Becky is still teasing the boy, but this time she's using the duck to tease the boy.
Fluffy duck. Eat here and get gas. Eat here and get gas.
Our first version tells us that people can go to this gas station, they can get food, they can get gas for their cars, they can do both of them there. Second version, we don't have the comma, is saying that if you go to that restaurant, that you're going to have gas afterwards, that you're going to be burping or farting or things like that afterwards. Whatever they serve, if you look, they serve a bunch of different stuff with beans.
And get gas. Becky walked on, her head a little higher than usual. Becky walked on her head a little higher than usual.
This one again has very different meanings depending on where you put the comma. First one tells us that Becky is walking off, and when it says that her head is a little higher than usual, like we can see in the picture there, it means that Becky's very proud of herself. She's feeling very accomplished, or she's very happy about something that she's done, in this case, making that sandcastle. Second version, if I move the comma a little bit, I'm saying that Becky walks on her head, and that she's just up on a hill or somewhere. She's up higher than where she normally.
Becky walked on her head a little higher than usual. Look at that huge hot dog. Look at that huge hot dog.
In the first version, they're saying that they're having like a cookout and someone has a hot dog and it's just a really, really big hot dog. It doesn't even fit on the grill. Second version, almost like for those of you that ever read those books about Clifford, kind of like Clifford, but they're saying that it's really hot outside. We can see the egg is frying on the sidewalk and the poor dog just wants some water to drink.
The kids who got ice cream were very happy. The kids who got ice cream were very happy.
This is a kind of a sad one. In the first one, all the kids got ice cream and so they're all happy. We have the commas showing us that we're describing the kids. They are the ones who got ice cream. But if I don't have those commas, then I'm saying that just some of the kids, just the ones who got ice cream are happy. We can see everyone else is kind of like upset or maybe even a little bit jealous that they get ice cream. Didn't.
The kids who got ice cream were very happy. The student, said the teacher, is crazy. The student said the teacher is crazy.
So again, two very different sentences. First version, I have the commas here. So I know that the teacher is the one saying that the student is crazy. We can balancing on a dog and reading a book upside down, and he has, I don't know, like a yo-yo or something, maybe a lamp on his foot. And then the second version, it's the student saying the teacher is crazy. The teacher is hugging a fish. He's got fish slippers, got goldfish, fish on the floor for some reason. There's a fish on the board.
Is crazy. No pushing, please. No pushing, please.
In the first version, if I have my comma there, I have somebody, either probably the little boy or the old woman, saying, please don't push. So they're asking nicely if they would stop pushing. If I forget the comma, sounds like there's a big, maybe like a statue or something that says please, and that kids are just pushing it, which is not what's going on. Probably isn't what's going on. I don't think anyone makes statues of the word please anywhere.
Please. I finally decided to cheer up, everybody. I finally decided to cheer up everybody.
Okay, if we have a comma, they're telling everybody, I have decided to cheer up, that they've decided to be happier. Second version, instead of cheering themselves up, they're trying to cheer up everybody else. They become a clown and they're floating through the air with different color balloons. Everybody.
I decided to cheer up everybody. What is this thing called, honey? What is this thing called, honey?
And this one, if I have my comma, he's pointing at a comma, and he's asking, hey, what's this thing called? Whoever he's talking to is calling them honey. I don't know if it's maybe one of his kids or maybe his wife or something. But in the second one, without the comma, it makes it sound like he's never seen honey before. So he's asking, what is this stuff? And kind of pouring it on his face because he doesn't know how to use what it's used
Called,
for.
honey.
So again, commas are used in sentences when we need to separate things. We want to make it easier to understand. So we need to be careful that we're not just throwing them in there because, like we saw in this book, it can really change what you're trying to say. And you might think that you're saying one thing, but your reader might be picturing something completely different in there. Yeah, I think it's good, Christopher. I like the different sentences they came up with. I think it made pretty silly sentences, but I don't know if I'd want my writing to just sound silly out of nowhere.